Okay, let's go.
Hi, here at Elevated Inspections, we provide sewer line inspections. This is where we run cameras down the line. This is a camera. Main drain line, this is where the sewer cleanout is. Everything you flush down the toilet goes through this pipe into the city sewer, which is typically in the middle of the street. They'll tell us what it looks like from the interior of the pipe, any type of roots, displacements, offsets, things like that, just the overall condition of the line.
Hello, we're here at 5482 Myra Avenue, Cypress, California, 90630 here in the main cleanout located right in front. Looks like a 4-inch cleanout, two-way. Soon hopefully we can transition to the city sewer or you get a bit of irrigation going on standby.
That's a video.
Hold on, let me see. So we're making our way to the city, trying to verify what it looks like. Stand by. So we reached the city sewer, middle of the street. This is where you turn and drop off all your sewage. Flush toilet, it go down pipes, and this is where it ends up. Middle of the street. This is where your responsibility is held. Middle of the street, and working our way back. Transition looks good. We just currently turned off water, so you'll see some water trickling out as it's running upstream from us and down to the termination point. So this gives me an idea of the location of the bottom of the pipe. Material is clay, very common for the age to see this. A little bit of offset happening. There is very common to see this happen with these material. Material is clay, so they have a hub style fitting, male and female parts, except that they don't line up correctly. As you can see there, it's not causing any backups or anything like that, but it's just gonna happen with this type of material. Another offset there, as you can see, not too bad, and the water's flowing through. Have these connections 2 to 4 to 6 feet, and at elbows, they have these connections, and sometimes roots like to get in. Just be aware of what you have. Sometimes you have offsets that are a little bit bigger, which is this one, but this is at top of the pipe. This is kind of a bigger offset, but still okay. Water's flowing through it, and as you can see, water's just trickling at the bottom, and the opening's happening at the top. So it's a little displaced with the far end a little bit downset, and the one that is going through is, you might have a little bit of offset there. What's good is you have this access port, or you need to access it if you need to run any sewer line equipment. Here's a little bit of white roots happening at the top here, pretty minimal. I think they probably have been servicing this line because overall it looks in pretty good shape. A little bit of minimal roots there as well, which is very common, like I said, with material. As roots like to get it to the water source, and that's how to get it through this connection. Another offset happening, very minimal. Next thing you would do to upgrade this line is to line it. I don't think it's necessary unless you're going to have major issues with the roots. I say check back in a year, see how often you got to do any type of servicing like hydrojetting. Here you have a little bit more roots, pretty minimal to 10% of the pipe. And it's all been happening at this section up front. That concludes our sewer line inspection from main city, which is the street side, to this cleanout. Here you have what's called a two-way cleanout. We're going to go reverse back towards the house, verify what that looks like. Stand back. So we're going back towards the house. What we have now is what's called cast iron drain lines underneath the house. Just be aware of what you have. It's kind of like a cast iron pan. What happens is rust starts to build up within the interior of the pipe, and blockages start happening. The narrow gets too small. I think this is upstream from any type of water because looks pretty dry. And we're probably at the toilet adjacent to this. So just be aware of what you have. Don't flush down any baby wipes because it'll get caught up on this. Your pipe gets narrow and narrowed. And then it transitions to ABS, which is here, and then out the clamp. So most likely everything underneath the house is of that material. So be aware of what you have and service if needed. Be aware it probably didn't get upstream from this, like brass drain lines from like kitchen over, as well as primary bathroom over. If any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a nice day.
We also do mold testing. If there's ever a musty odor in the air, we can actually sample the air by using this machine right here. We'll start the sample. We usually run it for 5 minutes. And what it does is it pulls in air into the actual cassette itself, and we'll send the cassette, which is this guy, to the labs, and it'll see what transpires. We also will sample a sample from the outside as a control sample and compare the two. If there's more elevated spores within the interior versus the exterior, you got a problem. If you actually see mold spores or mold mildew or growth, we can actually take an actual sample, direct sample using a swab kit. We'll take this out of the packet and sample mildew, send it to the lab, and it'll tell us what transpires. We also do thermal imaging. This will show me heat signatures or cold signatures of the electrical panel. It's very important to catch heat signatures. Here we have a little bit of heat signature here. As you can see there, it's only 85 degrees, which is not too bad. But this will definitely detect any type of heat signatures, overloading of systems. We can also use this to detect coldness, like underneath sinks and stuff like that. Also check this for leaks. It'll definitely detect any type of hot or cold signatures. We'll run water at the sink here and let it go. We're running hot because it's a little bit more easier to see. And then usually we go underneath the fixture itself to see if there's any evidence of leaking. As you can see there, see how it's red in this area where my finger is? That just means the leak probably right above it, this area right here. You also do sprinkler inspections as well for irrigations for lawn. Here we're at the timer and we'll run some zones. Let's run zone 2. We'll see how it sprays. Needs a little bit of work. We have a few heads that could be adjusted. The pattern's a little bit not the best when it comes out of coverage. A few dying plants over here, so we'll let you know what you have and what zones you have, and if all of the sprinklers are functioning. We also provide drone inspections if we can't get onto the roof. If it's too high or if the material's too fragile, like clay tile, we can fly a drone, take photos, and zoom in and verify what it looks like on the roof.